It's just emotions, man. There's one life to live out here. The sun could explode tomorrow, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna really get on a guy for getting excited in a really awesome moment while he's at the peak of his life. Like, it's just, this is like what they're out there to do.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. President's Cup. President's Cup is it's a wrap. United States of America in astonishing development. Victorious yet again on foreign soil. It got close for a little bit, and then it really kind of wasn't. But it got a little chippy. It really kind of developed on Friday, and then into Saturday, and then it was kind of a dusting come Sunday. There's a lot to talk about, from Keegan Bradley having and securing the winning point. There was some rumors being thrown and hurled around about players cursing at other players. There was claims that there was a lack of sportsmanship. It was up in Canada. I was there for several days. There's quite a bit to get into, but I'll start by saying Team USA. I think we're 13-1-1 now all time in that thing, and that's just complete dominance. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's complete dominance. It got cute for a little bit. It definitely it started to rev up. There were guys doing the, I saw Siwoo doing the whole sleeper, the Steph Curry go to sleep putt. I saw Tom Kim and them. Yep, you lost that match. Can't do it if you lose.
Nope.
Walking off the green, going to the next tee with Scotty. It's just, there was a lot of juice. There was a lot of juice there that probably didn't need to be there. And I like that. I like the pageantry around it. They did tie it up, went back-to-back sweeps. That was cool. But in the end, there's just way too much talent on the U.S. side. That's just a stacked lineup. When you go into Sunday singles and you see left versus right, it's just like, you look at that, you look at those matchups and you say it's impossible for the internationals to win this. It's impossible. Just statistics and just like the eye test. That would be like the Miracle on Ice team coming out there and winning. That's how much of an upset that would be.
Yeah, viewing it from a narrative perspective, the first day was as bad as it gets.
Yep.
Like Team USA sweep, and you're just like, oh, okay. Well, the international team might not score a point. And then the next day you get a sweep going the other way, and you got a little bit of juice. And I thought all of the Tom Kim stuff, which I'm sure we're going to get into, I think all of that is good. I know that, it upsets some players, it upsets some fans. That's a good thing. There's like a bit of immaturity when it comes to Tom Kim and these international events, and I think it's fueled by what happened to the last one, where he kind of became the lightning rod despite the international team losing that one as well. But I felt like he came into this one being like, I'm now the international guy, so I'm going to ruffle feathers, I'm going to celebrate, I want Scotty Scheffler, and when I make a putt, I'm going to go crazy. That is then going to motivate Scotty Scheffler when he makes a putt to then yell at Tom Kim. But again, from a narrative perspective, that's fantastic. Them walking off the green and walking to the next tee before Scotty putted. I don't know who that was motivated by. I know I always struggle to say this person's name. I can read it. Camilo Villegas.
Villegas.
Camilo
Villegas.
I know we can just
Deer
move
tag?
right past it because I'm not going to be able to do it again.
Sure.
But
Deer tag?
I know him and Kisner exchanged some words. These are all good things. It ended up being a stomping by Team USA once we got to singles, but there was a little bit of juice after the first day, despite the sweep with Tom Kim, and then the sweep going the other way. That was all good momentum. I just don't know, and maybe as the game grows internationally, worldwide, you'll have players in this who can compete with Team USA, who is probably always going to be pretty stacked when it comes to the top-ranked players. But there was a little bit of juice there for like 12 hours, and then it kind of slid down a hill. But there's potential here for sure, in my belief, I think.
I wonder how much Tom Kim's attitude change is because of, or what he was trying to accomplish out there is because of the takeaway when he was buddy with Scotty coming down that final stretch. What tournament was that? When
Travelers.
He was just like Travelers, when he was just like hugging Scotty and Scotty was just like beating him in like playoffs and like the final hole. Like everyone's like, Tom Kim, you need to try and beat this guy. You can't be the lovable best friend of Scotty Scheffler that he takes you out for pancakes and pizza. You can't be doing that when you're trying to win a ton of money and all of this. You're trying to win a professional tournament. So I wonder if he went in there being like, fuck you, Scotty Scheffler. I'm going to come out there. I'm going to try and kill you.
Well, I think part of his demeanor is motivated by the fact that they are friends, like that you can fuck with Scotty, like that they
100%.
are friends. If you go out there and you play with your friends, I know everybody's saying that over the weekend, like, hey, if you know, this happens when you play with your buddies. But if you are playing with guys that you know are your friends, you can fuck with them, and it's like it can be spirit, it can be heated and competitive, and you know afterwards it's going to be fine, which is exactly what it was for Scotty and Tom. I like that he felt comfortable enough being like, I just made a putt, a long putt, and I'm gonna scream at Scotty Scheffler.
That's human nature. I'm as nasty and mean with the people I'm closest with. I'm not gonna do that to a stranger. What am I,
That's right.
Psychopath? If I see Big Rob, I'm going to the Ozarks. I'm going to Big Cedar. If I make a putt in Big Rob's fucking face to like win a match, I'm gonna like dunk my balls on his head. I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna ruin him. I'm gonna go so psychologically deep into him that he's not gonna be able to survive. Would I do that to just like Johnny Walker that I just got paired up with at the Eisenhower Blue? No chance.
It's such a paradox that the people you are closest friends with are the people you are meanest to. I don't know why that is, but I am so mean to my friends. My friends are so mean to me.
Yep.
And every time I see them, I want to kiss them on the lips. Like it's the best. The male friendship, I can't speak for the female side, but the male friendship is strengthened by insulting each other and being mean to each other, but also having that level of comfort where once it's done, you're going to sit around a fire pit and smoke a cigar like that. I love that. And I think Tom Kim knew that, and it made for very interesting moments in the President's Cup.
Equinox EV helps you get the distance you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. The show, of course, presented by our great friends at Chevy. We love the Equinox EV, don't we, Trent?
We love it. We really do. Chevy, we've talked about it a lot on this show. They're just on the cutting edge of it all. And if you're looking for a new vehicle, I can't imagine why you wouldn't go to Chevy first. Go to Chevy.com, check out everything they got. Definitely check out the Equinox, but they've got a lot of great models on there as well. Just go on there, poke around. If you're in the market, even if you're not, just if you're maybe even starting to think about getting a new car, you have to start with our great friends at Chevrolet.
Yeah, head over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV. You can check out product info, lease offers, and amazing deals. The Equinox EV offers the best in class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. The thing is awesome. The 2025 Equinox EV LT has a starting price around $34,995. Your pricing may vary as dealers set the final price, but do yourself a favor. Head over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV to check out product info, lease offers, and amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Let me say this too about these events, and I know Frankie got a good. You kind of, I feel like, experienced the same thing on Sunday at the Ryder Cup in Rome with Justin Thomas and the hat gate and all of that stuff. Is that the one thing TV and the team events in golf does not capture at all is what it is actually like all day for the players and their relationship with the fans, and especially when you're on foreign soil. You hit a tee shot, and then you're not on camera for the next 5-6 minutes as you're walking up the fairway. And golf is such an intimate experience with the fans. It's not like hockey or football where there's this barrier and you can't really hear anything one-on-one. After you hit that tee shot, you can hear every single thing that people are saying up until you hit your next tee shot. And on Friday out there, especially when it was chippy, it was way different on Thursday. Friday, it was chippy. It is fucking relentless, and you cannot help but after hours and hours of that, I get why the players, even if they don't know the guy, even like Wyndham Clark was getting shit for giving it right back to him with the night thing after they didn't win that match because Patrick Cantlay made that putt. You can't help but at some point, because when you're that player, like I'm using Wyndham Clark as an example, I was walking down the very second hole with him on Friday, and it's like after he hits his tee shot, guys are screaming at him like, that fucking fade's turning into that slice, that Ryder Cup slice. When we saw it the whole time in Rome, that slice is coming out. And we all remember that too, of like under pressure in Rome, he was hitting that wipey thing out to the right. And you're hearing shit like that all day. And as the player, you don't have any opportunity to respond. You can't really be walking inside the ropes and responding. The chance that you get is when you do bury a putt, you finally get that opportunity to be like, fuck you, and go crazy. And you get kind of that on both sides. And it's it was when I got back on Saturday and I was kind of watching on TV. It's incredible how you don't get that perspective. And when you're walking inside the ropes all day, the entire time, you just hear chirping and people trying to get laughs out of the people around them. And you hear every fucking word that eventually it's like, it does rally you up. It does feel like you are in an intense rivalry kind of the whole time. And I think that almost for a lot of guys, it's inevitable for stuff to come out and be like fuck you at some point when you have a big moment, because you don't get to do that all day. And so I get it. I get how hyped up people are. I get that you want to fucking win. And it's like, oh, these guys are buddy, but the fans and the environment and what goes on in all those team rooms and all the videos that they're showing internally and on the bus to like hype you up for that whole week. It's like guys are getting emotional. Jim Furyk was emotional afterwards. So I just like, I think it spills out in those huge moments. And for a lot of the fans that are like, think people are overreacting, it's just hard to comprehend how much it's in people's head the whole day until you're there walking with and hearing the crowds, and you kind of understand like, fuck me, dude, I'd be looking for an opportunity to go fucking crazy as well out there.
Totally. I totally agree. Yeah, the TV never totally shows exactly what's going on, like you said, from tee to green. And it's just emotions, man. There's one life to live out here. The sun could explode tomorrow, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna really get on a guy for getting excited in a really awesome moment while he's at the peak of his life. Like, it's just, this is like what they're out there to do. What are we actually doing? Let's all just like sit back and realize what we're doing on this floating rock, and like we just need to start having fun and smiling and enjoying time. Because you can walk across the street, get hit by a bus tomorrow. So like, if you make a long putt at the fucking President's Cup and you've gotten to the point in this one life to like be in a really cool situation and enjoy that, and you're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to be really cool about this because I don't want to look like a loser on TV. Like, what are you talking about? None of that's going to matter. You know what I mean? Like, let's just have fun. Let's enjoy it. Let's have memories. So I'm not to get all deep on you there, but it's like, it is true. It's like, this is the biggest moment in these guys' lives. Like, let's one of them and like let them experience it however they want to. And it's way better for us as a viewer and a fan of the game to watch people care about things. There's a time and place for the Derek Jeters and the Tiger Woodses and the Michael Jordans that like never showed emotion, and they only like wanted like it was almost like act like you've been there before, and they were and the Kobe Bryants, where it was like, I'm here to win, and when I win, I'm going to the next one. Where's the gym? I want to play in the next game. There's only a certain amount of people that works for, and then you need the Tom Kims and the Siwoo Kims that are like going out there doing all this ridiculous celebrations, even if they're not going to win. They're just enjoying it, man. They're just fucking enjoying life out there, and I think that's great. I think that's fucking awesome.
Those are also the moments that build these events up. Like, people criticize, all people did leading up to the President's Cup, and I'm sure we did a little bit of it. We weren't critical. We were just saying the President's Cup isn't the Ryder Cup, and that's true. But if you need moments like this, that's all you like. Doing the fall asleep and then losing the match and having Steph Curry reposted on his Insta story being like, there's a time, that's a great energy, but there's a time and a place for this. Like, now Steph Curry, one of the biggest sports stars on the planet, is talking about the President's Cup, and people are seeing his story being like, what is this? Wyndham Clark going back and forth. Like, I have no qualms with any show of emotion at all. All the Tom Kim stuff was great. Wyndham stuff was great. Siwoo Kim stuff was great. I want all of it, because that is how you build an event. The people complaining about that, I don't even know what to say to them. Then watch something else. There were a million sports events on this weekend. Watch whatever you want.
Golf is a historically boring sport. If we get these weeks for team golf where people are going crazy, hitting drives, fist pumping, draining putts, going crazy, doing celebrations, that's good for the game. That's good for us as viewers. That's fun. That's fun for them. It's fun for the fans. All of this is a positive. It doesn't even matter what the final results were. USA destroyed them on Sunday. It does not matter. That was a given. You know what I mean? We knew that going in. It still was a fun event. That's all you really need to care about. I thought it was a big win for the President's Cup. I thought that's the takeaway for me. Big win for the President's Cup.
Yeah, I agree. And I think people got to realize how much this must hurt and matter to the international players. Like, it's easy for us to just be like, well, look at the lineup. Like, we're better than they are. This guy, number one, this guy, we're just going to win. Like, fucking Tom Kim and Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama, they are in their minds like the same as these other guys, if not better, right? Like they have this, they go play professional golf. They grind really hard. They win tournaments. They're out there all the time working on their game, working with swing coaches. They have mental coaches. They have nutritionists. They have fucking everything, man, everything and all the skill. And they're like, we're going to go out there and not lose. We're going to fucking win. And our fans want us to win. And then they don't and fucking lose. And Adam Scott's lost 11 of these things now. He's 0-11. He's never won a President's Cup. And that has to fucking suck. Like, even if we just went out and did our little travel series and like we lost 11 of them in a row, me and my teammates, like, you know, I would kill you guys. Like, I would fucking strangle one of you guys at some point to try to get through the next one and be like, we got to turn the tide. We got to do something. I'm going to quit my job if we keep fucking going to these cool golf resorts and just losing on camera. I'm going to kill somebody. Like, and now you take that, and this is what they pour all their emotion and their life into, and then they go out, and now it's all like, it's all amplified because it's this team event. So you care about it even more than you care about your usual event. And then you just fucking lose, and you lose, and you lose, and you lose. And you look at all the comments online are just like, oh, of course you lost. You always lose. You guys are worse. Like, that's cute. Nice little comeback. But like, and that just has to drive them fucking nuts. I know what drives them nuts. I was talking with Trevor Immelman, who's my favorite person in the world. And he was just giving me a couple of the narratives, even on Thursday, being like, fuck the fact that people think this is the juice. This doesn't have this, that. We got to get the Canadian fans going. And so I just think like it's important to remind people that this whole team of 12 players on the international side, they're not just out there for this fun exhibition. Like, it drives them fucking nuts that they keep losing. And it's impressive that they're that good at golf. They're that pissed off. They got to be that rattled about losing time in and time out. And yet the American players still in that environment are just better. Like, we just can continue to go out there and be better. And Scotty clearly not having his best stuff, finding ways to like win matches where it didn't look like they're going to win matches. Patrick Cantlay out there being again a fucking hero in these matches on Saturday to close that thing out. You had the Kims doing their thing. They're riling up the crowd. And then he just steps up in the final hole and buries it in front of everybody to win that match. And then afterwards had like the best Patrick Cantlay comments I've ever seen, where they were trying to bait him into some controversy, some stuff. And his answer was just like, I got to be honest with you. I very much understand and appreciate the fact that these guys are out there. If that's what it takes, if they're celebrating, going crazy, coming up with celebrations from Steph Curry to try to get themselves riled up and their fans riled up. It's a really emotional team event. Totally understand it. We just happen to make one more birdie than they did. And everyone's just like, fuck yeah. All right. And so, I just think like people, again, it's understanding. And I did love that on Friday. I thought it came out with the fans and the emotion, how jacked up the Canadian guys were, Mac Hughes and Corey Connors going out there and getting a win on their home soil. Like all that stuff I did think came out at times, but then singles I do think are like the most boring part of the whole thing, which sucks. I saw a couple people tweeting about this. I think it's been Shane Bacon for a couple years now being like singles shouldn't be the finale because it's the least exciting part. I'm starting to kind of agree with that. So it almost loses a little bit of juice at the end, and it especially does when one team blows out the other every fucking time like we do. But I just think, dude, those cool moments when your team is up against their team and you're out there with just your partner and your caddy and you're trying to battle, and it's like it's so fucking awesome when you win and so unbelievably devastating when you lose. And I just want people to think about how shitty that must be for the Adam Scotts and the Siwoo Kims and the Hidekis that they just fucking lose this event over and over and over again.
Right, because like what you said is true. These guys are just as good. Like Hideki has a Masters, Adam Scott has a Masters. Like they've gone out there and beat everybody at the biggest tournaments in the world. So yeah, to lose 10 of these in a row. I mean, we talked about it last show where we wanted to be competitive. At some point, the international team's got to win one. Like they just have to. You can't be 15 years into a losing streak and get people excited about it. That's the only problem. But I get why they're not winning. Like Team USA is just so much better. They have so much more talent. But boy, if the international team could somehow knock one of these off, then you've got real juice. Maybe as Tom Kim gets a little bit older and he just sort of solidifies himself as the international guy on these teams. But they need to win one. I don't want them to. I want America to win 100 of these in a row. I think that would be hilarious. But for this event to get eventual juice. It's got to be close at the very least. Like we've been talking about, Sunday it was over. And I guess Sunday singles makes the most sense, just in the sense that there's so many points on the board that anything can happen. So that sort of brings a little bit. But yeah, I just I think it's a worthy event. I don't think they should ever get rid of it. That'd be insane. But the international team needs to win one of these at some point, or it's never going to have any juice. Because as soon as you say to someone, the Team USA has won 10 of these in a row, people are like, well, they're just going to win it again, so I don't give a fuck.
I think that's something too that just makes it that much harder for them. It makes it that much more stressful. It's harder to hit golf shots when you're stressed out and feeling the pressure. The Americans are coming out, and the American team is so deep in comparison to the international team too. Like it's always that way, even in the Ryder Cup, but not quite as severe. Like you get towards the bottom of the lineup a little bit, and it's just incredible how deep the American team is. That takes a lot of the pressure off the other guys, where it's like, in your match, you'd really like to win. You're right there. You're playing pretty well. But if you don't win, you're surrounded by the other guys are all ranked inside the top 20 in the world. So you're just like, well, the other guys are going to win too. So it's not that big of a deal. Whereas like when you're on that international team and you're Tom Kim and Siwoo Kim and you guys are out there holing chips just to get the match tied going to the last couple holes, you feel all that pressure of we have to win this match. If we do not win this match, everything's going right. We're playing sick. Our other guys aren't as deep. They're playing against fucking Scotty Scheffler, all that. We got to win this match, and it makes it hard. You're gripping that club tighter, and then you don't win, and it's fucking deflating. And next thing you know, you lose 18.5 to 11.5. So it's just tough for them. It's tough with how much pressure there is. Mike Weir is, the losing captain always gets second guessed hard. He didn't play Minwoo Lee all Friday or all of Saturday. So Minwoo Lee went out on Thursday, lost, and then didn't play again until his Sunday singles match. Mike Weir kind of rolled the same crew, he did roll the exact same crew all day Saturday, which is a long-ass day. I was reading, I think the U.S. team got up at 3:30 in the morning on Saturday. I imagine the international is very similar. Their bus left at 4:15 to get to the course by 5 something because they were off the first tee at 7. And then you're doing that. You're playing 2 sessions of these emotional matches, and they ran the same squad. They clearly ran out of gas. They lost 3-1, 3-1 in both sessions on Saturday. And next thing you know, it was pretty much over. So Mike Weir's getting a little bit of shit. I think it's always hard to second guess a captain of a team that's lost 11 in a row and is significantly worse in the world ranking points and all of that. You're just trying to put out, you're kind of limited to just putting out your top 6 or 8 guys pretty much over and over again is kind of what you have to do. And that's what he thought he was doing. Minwoo, I thought, handled it well. I walked with him a little bit. He's the nicest fucking guy. He's very cool. Minwoo Lee's just fucking cool. And I was walking with him on Friday a little bit. And then I saw him in the presser afterwards yesterday, Sunday. And he handled it great. They're like, how'd you feel not playing for 2 days straight and then having basically a 3-day gap? And he's like, I felt like anybody would probably feel like I didn't love it, but also my captain's doing the best that he can. And it is what it is. Hopefully I play better next time so that I don't get sat for 2 days straight. So I don't know if we had any criticism of Captain Mike Weir.
No, you're running into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
If it worked, then we'd be praising him. But he is put in a position where, yeah, you can put any combinations you want out there. I don't think that's going to be the difference. And when the gap is this large, I don't think pulling this lever as opposed to the other lever is that was the thing that was going to do it. You're just overwhelmed by the talent on the other side. You're just put in such an impossible position. You're almost like a lamb to slaughter to a certain degree. It's like, all right, who's going to be the next captain of the international team 2 years from now? Who wants to get absolutely blown out again by the Team USA? So yeah, there's nothing he could have done with the nuts and bolts, in my opinion, that would have been then we would be talking about a Team International win. No chance.
You do have the opportunity of being a captain and being the one guy that breaks the curse. So there should be a lot of motivation. You saw Trevor Immelman had the most motivation of all time. He came up with the new logo, the whole new color scheme, the whole branding around it, there was a whole new vibe change when Trevor kind of took it by the reins there. So I mean, there is definitely some sort of juice to being we're saying juice a lot. There's a lot of juice to being the captain of the international team because it's kind of like a win-win situation. I know he's kind of getting shit on for his decision making, but
yeah,
you were the captain, you were expected to lose, and then if you do win, you're historically great and you're a legend.
right. Like, are you going to be the guy? Like, are you like the Chicago Cubs in 2016, the Red Sox in 04? I know we're talking about the President's Cup; those were massively huge deals. But you're right.
Trent.
Like, you are then put in a position where it's like, can you almost need an off the wall pick? Like, as much as I love Trevor Illman, and he was a great one. Mike Weir is more kind of like milk toast kind of guy. But if you get like an off the wall young guy who can really bring the energy, maybe that's what you need. But they got 2 years to think about it. And
Greg Norman or someone.
I said on the last episode, who are they going to bring in as the pump up speech guy? Like, this guy made the difference, and I suggested Greg Norman. Maybe 2 years from now he will be the guy. I saw Gretzky was hanging around.
Wayne was a big
Trudeau
one
out there, Riggsy.
No Trudeau. I miss Trudeau. I was looking for Wayne a little bit, couldn't find him. October 14th, coming up here, Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. I'm looking, so on Game Time, which is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, they've got the brand new Game Time Picks feature. They're making it even easier to get to a game. And it's instead of Trent going through the entire thing, you can kind of look at the picks feature, and it just gives you highlights a bunch of great ones that you're going to want to look at. So for Monday Night Football, this great game, Alex Bush, obviously a fan, $235. You're basically sitting on the field. $383 I'm looking at there, but you can also get tickets for $169, $286. There's a bunch of great offers here for the Bills at the Jets Monday Night Football, and it's all because of Game Time Picks.
Game Time is the best. And we talk about going to a Noah Kahan show later on this podcast. I remember thinking when I was at the show, like, this is what being alive is all about. Just going to a live show, going to a football game, just a large gathering of people enjoying whatever is on stage or on the field. It really doesn't get better than that. It's been that way since human beings have started, the Coliseum all the way up to the stadium at MetLife or the Soundside Festival in Bridgeport. Like, going to events is the best, and it's part of the human experience, and you need to get involved, and you need to use Game Time when you do it.
Yeah, Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff, shows you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I'm even looking at the ALDS at the Yankee Stadium. They've got $139, $197, $117, $74, all with the Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app today. Use the code FORE, F-O-R-E, to easily score great deals with the new Game Time Picks. That is Game Time Picks. Use the code FORE. What time is it? Game time. Kiz was born to be the assistant captain of the President's Cup team.
Yep.
I mean, he was live tweeting the whole thing. He's walking around with Russell Henley, who was playing sick. Kiz is boys with him. So Kiz was sort of like the assistant captain that was assigned to Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley, who were just balling out, especially on Thursday when I saw Kiz. And he was great out there. He's going up, putting his arm around all the caddies, including like even the international team. He was getting into it with Camilo Villegas midway through the day, or Villegas, sorry, Trent. On Thursday, he's like getting into it with him about, those guys walking off the tee. And then Kiz is the one that kind of went and delivered that quote that went everywhere, that gave, shout out to this term again, juice to the event on Thursday. He had the whole thing with the tarps off, which he ended up doing after they closed everything out yesterday, which I was getting a little bit, a lot of people were tweeting at me about like, well, Kiz tweeted something and then didn't, hasn't owned up to his word. Riggs tweeted something and had to root for, Europe for a whole fucking year in the Ryder Cup. And then the more I kind of realized it, I was like, it probably would have been a little ridiculous if Kiz is the assistant captain during play of the President's Cup took his shirt off. Like, I think that probably would have been overdoing it. He had an opportunity in that interview right afterwards when I thought he was going to do it, but he ended up, as they're walking into the press conference, ripped his tarp off. He had a beer. He went up to Max, and they went crazy. So he owned up to
wild.
Promises made, promises kept, my friend.
Just all those photos with his nips out are so crazy.
I saw there was the angle when he walked into the team room, it must have been, and he went up to Max Homa, and Max turned around, and I didn't see what Max did because the camera was behind Kisner, but then there was a camera shot photograph from the side. I believe Max Homa was petting Kevin Kisner's chest hair. So that's just guys being dudes, man. Kevin Kisner, I appreciate him coming through on his promise. He is perfect for that role because we know him very well, and you need a guy like that. He's a bulldog. I know he's a Georgia bulldog, but he's also just a little bulldog. And if another team fucks with his guys, he's going to get in somebody's face. And again, that's what you want at this event. What did you guys, without thinking about it from a narrative perspective, what did you think about those guys walking off the green and heading to the tee box? Pretty ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And it's not common, that's for sure.
I guess it was explained to me like it wasn't. It was explained to me like the reason that Cameo was involved was because I guess those guys were hanging around near the hole, and he was like, come on over here with me. I want you guys like removing yourself from this energy and getting focused and staying focused on what you're doing, not on what they're doing. Come over here with me.
Yeah.
And they kind of took that as like they walked away from the green and over to the next hole, that they weren't necessarily being like, we're disrespecting these guys and we're rolling over the next hole. They were sort of with Camille being like, okay, you're right. We're going to remove ourselves. We're not worried about what they're doing. We're focused on what we're doing. Regardless, you cannot walk to the next hole. I think that's you know,
and the
like
footage of them looking at the yardages where they're cutting. Scotty's still reading the putt, and they're just like, all right, I think it's 177 or it's a 155 carry.
I would buy what you're saying, or wherever you heard that from Riggs, about, you know, they just want to sort of remove themselves and focus on their own thing. If what happened on the previous hole hadn't happened, like they were very much in each other's kitchen, and it was like, all right, they're sticking around to watch a Scotty putt, and then Scotty turns around and yells at Tom Kim. Then pretty much the next hole, I think it was, they're walking away and not watching the Scotty putt. So that's why it felt like, I don't know if I'm buying like, oh, we just want to be off the green and we don't know where can we stand?
Yeah. We talked about at the top. I like it. It's good. Like it's a team that doesn't shake hands, or it's a player that didn't shake a hand. Now it's a storyline. Yeah, of course it's not the greatest sportsmanship of all time. Like, I know people are going to get hung up and get their panties all up in a bunch about sportsmanship and shaking hands and taking hats off and phones in the pocket at dinner and no elbows on the table. But it's like, at the end of the day, these guys want to win this match. They're trying to get in Scotty's head. They're walking off the green. He just screamed in their face. He even said, I'd probably do it too. I'm screaming in their face the whole entire day. I'm dominating them. Like, I'd probably want to walk off the green also.
So if Angel Reese and like Caitlin Clark were just been best friends for the last 4 years, like the ratings would not be even close to what they are in the WNBA. You need that.
Like Tom Kim wanted it. They want it. They want to win the next hole. They're like, I'm done getting my fucking face screamed in. Like, I want to go to this next hole. I want to read I want to know what the yardage is. I want to get dialed in. I don't care. I already lost that hole. It's over. That hole is done with me. I don't care what he's about to do. We're on to the next one.
I want to firmly be on the side of that. I loved it, but the visual was
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a very disrespectful move. I loved it too, but you can't do it. You know, like I don't know how to explain, but it's like you just can't do that.
I thought Paul McGinley was going to have a conniption in the booth. He's like, this is borderline bad behavior here. He's just like, he really
bad behavior.
He really didn't like it at all. But that's their role too in the announcing booth, to call it out and be like, I don't like what's going on here. I mean, he was the President's Cup captain, no, he wasn't. But he was like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So
I love, dude, in these events too, like the dry commentator, then live commentating on people going fucking nuts is so goddamn funny to me. Like when Tom Kim and they will be fist bumping and going crazy on the green, and then they'll cut to Noda, and Noda will be like, guys, he has really in that moment decided to showcase some emotion for the crowd, and you're just like, dude, no, we're watching. And he just like the way that they explain it, of just, you know, in this event, you're noticing the last couple holes that they've really released a little bit more energy outwardly than they typically do in a golf event. You're like, yeah, dude, they're going fucking crazy. I'm watching. I'm looking at the TV, and the way they have to cover it, you just nailed it with the McGinley stuff, because he always just wants to go a little wild on there, and he's got, you know, he understands what it's like to be part of the European team. Let me ask you this. You ever think, I was thinking about this as things were falling out of favor and it was going to clearly be over. Is there anything that stipulates that the international team couldn't, I don't know if you want to say hire or appoint somebody from the European Ryder Cup team to be like an assistant captain or like some sort of mentor role within their team, not play on the team, but like, like you could see the U.S. international soccer team can have like a German coach or something.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, like, could this international team, could they bring in, fucking Sergio Garcia or somebody who's got one of these iconic winning records in Team Europe and be like, dude, we need you to come in for the next 2 years and be a consultant because Team Europe it's not as severe and the delta is not as large. But Team Europe is worse in the world rankings, and we go through it all the time. Yet they find ways to win, especially on home soil, over and over and over again. It's like, I feel like they could maybe use a little something. And I like having McGinley up there because he knows he's been there, he's been the leader, he's hit the shot, that's won the damn thing before. Yeah. I was just wondering if that's even like feasible to get them in. I don't know if it is, but I feel like they could use a little bit of that to get over the hump because they're close. They're like, I know the score was what the score was, but when they tied it up, when they had a couple of those matches, it was like the U.S. ended up, I think, winning 51 holes against 44 holes on the back nine going into like the last day. So it was like clearly they were close. They just couldn't quite finish at the end. So I don't know. I was just kind of wondering because I feel like they need a little something else. They got the shield. They got the whole deal. They've had some big moments. They can't quite get over the hump,
Get Colin Montgomery out there as an assistant captain for the international team. I wonder what the rules say. Like what? Yeah, feels like you probably. I mean, obviously that's all they've done is they've given it to international assistant captains. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like bring in a consultant who knows from a team that's based on and knows camaraderie. I don't know, but they got to do something because you can't lose 11 in a row. You can't lose 12 in a row. You got to somehow get a win. You have to.
Another question I've got. Do you guys think it's weird at all that Tiger Woods isn't involved at all? Because, I mean, but last time we played this whole thing on foreign soil, he was the captain. And not just the captain, but playing captain. I know he's had the crash since. He had another surgery, but like feel like he could have scheduled that for relatively whenever in this offseason. He was, up until a couple months ago, we all thought kind of a shoo-in to be the captain for the Ryder Cup team at Bethpage next year, to the point where he had to kind of come out and give statements on why he didn't choose to be the captain for the Ryder Cup team next year. And then he's nowhere to be found without in this whole thing. I mean, right? He's like one of the guys. He's been assistant captain. He's been a part of these things. When we were out there in 2017, Trent, at in New York or New Jersey at Liberty National, he was out there. And then like a week later is when he posted that swing video that got everybody juiced up, but he was out there. He loves being a part of these things. Nowhere to be found at all. Like nothing.
I'm sure he was asked, right? Jim Furyk had to reach out and be like, do you want to be involved in this in any way? I would be stunned if that weren't the case. But yeah, it was definitely weird. He's just not nowhere to be found.
I don't know. You got to think he's recovering or something. He had to have gotten asked. You don't go through, you got to
maybe sent like a video. Maybe one of these guys in the press coming out will be like, yeah, the night before, blah, 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 Tiger sent like a cameo video and was like, hey, go get him. There had to be something. I agree.
I mean, I'm sure he was asked, but like, I'm sure if he in any way wanted to be, it almost is like weird to me that he wouldn't. I mean, that's not. What is the guy doing? What could he be doing? That it's like he can't just hop on that.
It's strange that he's not being the Ryder Cup captain. I know we love Keegan, and we're really happy for him to be the Ryder Cup captain. But like, I was talking about this with my buddies the other day. What is Tiger actually doing that's keeping him so busy to not be the Ryder Cup captain? He's like, I got all these things going on with the PGA Tour merge and live and the PIF and all this bullshit.
PGL, dude.
Is he like outrageously busy? Is he going through papers and like signing documents and in Zoom meetings for hours upon end?
Like,
and also like how much
moonlighting as somebody's accountant or something? Like,
how much does like the Ryder Cup, from now until next September, how much does that take away from his schedule that he would like these meetings, I mean, I don't know. We're in a bunch of like meetings and stuff. Like we could just schedule them when we're off. I mean, and also like that PGA, this whole new like merger, live, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what they're calling it, but it's like that's not even happening. It seems like it's going so slow. So that excuse to me is very strange. It's all been weird. Maybe it's just too much for him at this point. He's just like, I'm fucking done. with all this
President's
stuff.
Cup makes. I mean, he just had that surgery, so he might be recovering.
That makes sense. Yeah,
he might have been like, I'm getting this surgery, so I'm not going to have any involvement. I'm going to need like a month or two off. That makes sense.
the Ryder Cup doesn't make sense to me.
I agree with that.
I can't. I try and be like the Tiger guy, and the Tiger guy in me wants me to be like he's making the right decision for himself. That one, after sleeping on it for a couple months now, this one does not make sense to me.
I'm with you. I'm as stunned as you are, and I don't captain. I get maybe a little bit. I guess even for me, the President's Cup. It's like, dude, I'm watching Stewart Sink and Brandt Snedeker walking around. Kiz is just walking around chopping it up. I'm like, how fucking hard would it be for Tiger Woods to take his jet 2.5 hours up to Montreal, and then just if you got to take Zoom calls with Yasser during the day, take a fucking Zoom call. Who cares? Nobody cares.
Like you could stunned if they're actually doing that.
Just be around. Like, how is he not around? To me, I was very surprised by that. Maybe he's doing this noble, shout out like Joe Biden type thing where he's like, nope, this is your guys' time now. I've had my time. I'm gonna let the new generation usher themselves in without me being a distraction. But by all accounts, if all of this work he's doing all the time that he's so busy is trying to work on live and tour and the future of the PGA Tour, it's like this President's Cup thing is a big deal for the PGA Tour. They own and operate it. If you're up there, like, I think it only adds more juice if there's footage of Tiger fucking fist pumping and doing the night thing back in somebody's face as an assistant captain or something. I mean, come on, it'd be like, it's only positive. So I just can't grasp how he's not involved at all. And you're right. Like that's why I kind of was like, dude, feels like I woke up yesterday thinking Tiger Woods is going to be the fucking captain of the Ryder Cup team next year. Holy shit, he's about to be front and center of this game on the team level, the biggest event that we got. And then he's nowhere to be found. It's just weird to me. It was just like, where the fuck is this guy?
Hopefully it's not like the Biden thing, because then that would mean Jimmy Dunn has like Tiger with a gun to his head being like, this is a coup and we are absolutely not letting you finish out your historic career in the way that you want, and you have to let these younger guys get in there because we're going to kill you if you don't. It's just like Tiger's like, okay, I'm done. I'm getting back surgery tomorrow. Oh, where's that ice cream parlor?
He's just busy, boys. He's shuffling through papers. He's putting paper clips on reports, like
putting his glasses on the tip of his nose, being like, well, all right, hey Tiger, we got nothing for your son. Okay, let me just get maybe this. I think I'm not doing the
maybe it's like, it's just not worth my time to go up there and watch our guys dominate the international.
No, and we're trying to make jokes about it. It's way more involved than just showing up for the Ryder Cup. I mean, I got a little look into it. I played at a Ryder Cup media event, like the very first one that they had. There was only like 20 people, maybe like 28 people out there that were playing at Bethpage Black, and we got to meet a lot of the PGA of America people, a lot of the guys putting on the Ryder Cup, and they have so many ideas and plans for Keegan in terms of like media responsibilities and things that he's going to be doing and promotional aspects and commercials, and it is a lot. Like there's going to be a lot of like hooting and hollering, and Keegan's going to be getting like the country riled up and going on Good Morning America, whatever. There's a lot of things that you got to do as the captain. You got to parade the Ryder Cup around, and it's definitely not just like you show up for practice round on Monday and you're ready to rock. Like there's a lot that has to happen. Zach Johnson showed that in Full Swing, and then he just got like got so much they got swindled by a group of golfers to pick certain players on the team. It's a lot to handle.
It's a lot of politics.
It's definitely not nothing. I just think I get he's got kids maybe, and look, Tiger was just like, dude, I'm hanging out with my kids. I didn't really get to do, I've been on the road forever.
Yeah, it was the excuse that was weird.
I'm just kind of doing, this is what I want to do. I think we'd all be like, okay, all right. Like, good for you. I credit to Woj, who just is like, I'm out. I've done the thing. And I'm like, that's kind of, if Tiger was like, I'm going to just hang out at home with my family and my kids, and that's what I like to do, I have absolutely no issue with that. But it does feel like we're kind of in this middle area here. And I don't know.
I don't understand what you mentioned Woj. I don't understand what Woj's job was.
What do you mean?
Are teams contractually obligated to give Woj the information that he can then break? Like, does he have a legitimate job that he had to?
He's a newsbreaker. Best one.
Right, but like newsbreakers are they're on their own accord of like going to find the news, right? Like, or was there like a system in place in which when you have a trade or you have a signing, you go through him, and now because they're like, who's Woj's replacement going to be? And that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, isn't it just the next person that has like a really good contact list in his phone that like reaches out?
Building that good contact list and that trust and that credibility.
But that's a position.
Well, he works for ESPN.
Yeah, but like that's a position to like have the contact list. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like it's almost like Woj has an actual job description that says like newsbreaker, and then like when you're an NBA front office executive and you're going through your list that you have to do in order to sign a new player, contacting Woj is like part of the job. You're like, oh, we have to reach out to the ESPN newsbreaker, and his name is Andrew Wojnarowski, and we have to give him all this information because then he has to release it to the world.
I think it's the contact list, and I think it's I mean, he built it himself. It's a sharing of information position where the teams are the people within these the teams are giving him information probably for other information. So it's like creating that whole web, and being in the know is incredibly valuable. Like I sort of get what you're saying, but he also had a job at ESPN. He was on TV. He would break.
I get that part.
Drafting like before it would even happen. Like he's just a go-to guy he's a newsman, but he breaks a lot of it.
I think too, it's almost more impressive in today's day and age when everybody can just break whatever they want, right? Like if you're like the Pelicans and you have a trade, you can just tweet it out. But I think that there's an incredible asset in like what Woj, and you look at Shefty and Rapport, like what they've built, which is like they package it the right way, they amplify it the right way because they're positioned with ESPN, and it's like you're going to give him this bomb and he's going to drop it and it's going to go, and I just think there's that trust that they build, and part of it's probably institutional. You're probably right, where it's just like, no, this is what we do. This is what we've always done. It's like, it's like our podcast promos. Like they just come out the way they've always come out because people are just like, that's just what we do. It's like, I think that's probably part of it, which is also a skill to make every team in the league be like, you got to get this to Woj, dude. They're like, why? Like, why can't we just put it out from our account?
No, I totally get like his skill and why he was so incredible at his job and why he should be, idolized in that like realm of sports. But I mean, I don't know. It's just funny like to see. It's funny to see like, oh, like Jeff Passan or Passan, whatever, like he could be moving over from the MLB to take in Woj's spot as like the NBA insider. It's just like, is he just going to send him his like content? Like Woj is Woj because he's Woj. He's the one that made all those connections. He's the one that made all those. He's the one that built that trust. Like, that's why I'm saying, is it a legitimate, is it like on somebody's fucking LinkedIn that like I am the NBA contact? Like,
no.
Like, is it
no,
now?
I don't think so.
Is it now whoever fills in for him just gets the text over the next guy? Like that to me was the interesting part.
Somebody's got to build their own network. It's probably Shams. That would be my guess. But
that is like, that's cool that you've created your own job that probably no one else can just create. Or if they do, they have to work their dick off.
Yeah.
And you got to be likable, right? Like there's got to be people got to have a certain, like, I got to get this to Woj because he deserves it. Like there's a certain part of that that's in there. There's a lot of it in there. But I bring it back to Tiger. I wouldn't mind at all if Tiger's like, I've done a lot for all you fuckers. I'm just going to chill in Florida with my kids. That's great. But I don't feel like I think he always kind of part of it, and then he's kind of not a part of it. So I don't know. I thought he'd be around. I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't around. Fall is officially here. The temperatures are dropping quickly with winter sneaking up on us. It's time to make sure your wardrobe is up to par. That's why I want to tell you about the outerwear line from our friends at Peter Millar, the All Course. The All Course lineup features a vest, a jacket, and a full zip hoodie that provides plenty of warmth thanks to loose fitting, full insulation, designed for easy, lightweight wear, which Peter Millar, they do this stuff better than anybody. The All Course also features a windproof construction and water resistance, perfect for drizzly days. I got a nice Peter Millar item on right here, but the All Course line is fantastic. It's fall.
I got sent some fall gear from Peter Millar that really took my breath away. Mm-hmm. It's a jacket that it's like a linen type of feel to it. And like on the inside, it's like lightweight, feels like a summery feel. But then on the outside, it's got this, I don't even know how to explain it. It's thick, it's woolly. On the inside, it's light. On the top, it's got like rain resistant shoulders. They are changing the game because it looks good, but it is so comfortable. I've never felt fall gear be this comfortable. Peter Millar dominates the fall. Usually you're thinking of like hard feeling cardigan and like, you know what I'm saying? Like all those like plaids were so like they like rubbed up against your neck and everything felt very stiff in the fall when you were growing up. Jackets felt stiff. You could never golf in something like that. You would always golf in just the polo because you didn't want to be restricted. You don't want that restrictive feeling when you're swinging. Now everything's so loose and limber, but it also is like tight fitting. Oh my God. Oh, I had family over yesterday. I showed them. There's a lavender crew neck that they sent me, a V-neck that goes over a collared shirt that I'm going to wear in a video. You guys are not going to believe what I look like. It is outstanding.
Can't wait.
It's outstanding.
Perfect for cool weather rounds or out on the town. The All Course is aptly named. Be sure to check out the All Course outerwear and all of Peter Millar's incredible line and lineup at petermillar.com/foreplay. That is petermillar.com/foreplay. Anything else that we got on this? It was cool. Keegan got the winning point for the President's Cup team. Kind of an incredible turnaround just a year ago. I was looking up clips because I searched Foreplay Pod Keegan. I was trying to find a couple clips from our podcast interview, and I came up with the one that we did a year ago when he didn't get selected for the Ryder Cup team. Now he's the damn captain. He made the President's Cup team. He won that BMW, which he loves to win. So what a turnaround for Keegan. The big question is kind of where's this going to put him for next year? He's fucking feisty. He plays well in these things, man. So I don't know what they're going to do about that. I don't know in general how different that Ryder Cup team is going to look than the President's Cup team. I don't know if it's going to be pretty similar. Jim Furyk famously went right down chalk. He went players 7 through 12 in the points are the players that he made the team. So there were really there was no controversies around that. A year is a long time. So there could be a lot of different changes in the game. We obviously didn't have JT, Spieth, Bryson not on the team. Internationals, we should probably note, probably got hurt more than we did by not having any of the live golfers on there, from Cam Smith, Joaquin Niemann, Abe Answer. They're a little bit older, but the Louis Oosthuizens and some players that are on live that weren't on the international team probably could have made things a little bit closer. But yeah, I don't know how different the team's going to be going into next year. It's, if the President's Cup is that fun at times, which it was, and we went through the whole damn deal and the emotions and blah, 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 it just got me fired up for Bethpage, dude. Bethpage is going to be fucking crazy.
I think it's the best golf course in the world, man. I just played it the other day. I've said it a bunch. Without views, it's hard for me to not say it's the number one inland golf course in the world. I swear to God, every single hole is perfect on that golf course. You go through from tee to green on every single hole, and I think it's perfect. It's incredible. It's so perfectly made in a public park. It's $70 if you live in New York. It's disgusting how good that place is. Shinnecock's great. It's on the same island, but it's like the most exclusive golf course in the world. There's just something about Bethpage, man. Like there's guys walking around in jeans and a t-shirt right behind where you're teeing off, and you're like, and they're probably on the green. They're probably on the tee box also with you, and it's like you exit this public, ridiculous circus of a golf course area where the green, the yellow, the red, the blue, everyone's just teeing off. There's people with umbrellas. It's nuts. And then you're just playing a Ryder Cup golf course, and it is perfect. It's so good. Every shot it's the only golf course in the world that I could talk to you about every single shot I hit after I walked off. Every single shot is memorable. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
I agree with you. I don't know that there's a better just tree-lined golf course I've ever played on the planet. There's no ocean. There's no lake that it goes around. There's no mountains. You're not way high up, elevated, looking for miles and miles across the terrain in either the desert or in the Blue Ridge, wherever. There's none of that. You're just basically, the only thing you could basically see at any given time is the hole that you're on, and it's fucking incredible. Like
That's
the start is off the charts. The first hole may be the one that you're like, It's not that crazy, but you factor in the tee and the sign and how nervous you are, and there's people around. There's
And the
usually some
elevation.
locals like
Just launch a
sitting right-
little cut right off
It's
that tee, and it
nice.
just floats. And
Dude.
you're like, oh, is that going to be too short? And then it lands like way further than you anticipated. And you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
actually made the turn. And then your next shot's not easy. It's like a 180 yard, 180, 175 if you really nut it out there. Like 7-iron into the green with a ridiculously protected green with all bunkers and fescue around it, and the road's right behind it with like a little tunnel. And you're like, what the fuck? I got to hit this green now? The green's the size of a fucking penny.
Dude. And then the second hole is fucking unbelievable. It looks like you're like hitting up there where there's like a stream, almost feels like it carved through there or something. Because it's like
the way that it goes up the hill to the left, and for a lefty. So we're not gonna go through every single shot, but on the first hole, I got to hit off the new Ryder Cup tee box. It's brand new on one. They're changing the tee box for the Ryder Cup. It's to the left. It's in between 1 and 18, and it is way up forward. So it's like almost halfway through the hill. And guys are going to be able to drive the green with a perfect look of the green over the trees. They're going to, I think they're giving them at least 30 or 40 yards of distance closer to the fairway. And I think the reasoning is because like you open up way more opportunities. Guys can like really go for it now. If you get a guy like Bryson DeChambeau, if he's going to be on the Ryder Cup team, like he's going to launch a 340 yard drive over Rory's going for it. He would go from the original tee. So they have that. It's a really cool angle. So I hit my first shot, nice little cut right down the middle. I'm turning around, I'm laughing at everyone. The Ryder Cup is next to me on the tee box. I'm like, this is fucking insane.
That was the actual Ryder Cup I saw there?
I asked someone, I said, is this just a decoy? Is this a secondary one? He said, there's no way to know. He said that there may be multiple out there, but this one looks exactly like the one that they would be hoisting if they win the Ryder Cup. So it looked like the real one. They were holding it with white gloves and taking pictures of it and the whole entire deal. So
amazing. Holy shit.
Made a bogey. I hit a bunker, but I made a nice bunker shot and then missed my putt. My putting's been horrific. But anyway, played the first hole well, made a bogey, hit a good drive. Like you're feeling good, like you're walking onto the second hole. I hit a nice drive on one. And then two, it's a totally different world. You can't hit a driver. It's only like 230 to the end of the fairway, and it goes, like you said, sweeping up the whole entire fairway to the left and then all the way up to the green on two. So you have to hit another club, whether it's a driving iron or a hybrid. I took a 5-wood, my Tiger Woods 5-wood, and I put it a little bit low to the back of my stance, and I hit like a low missile, like fade that just perfectly went. It was like a Mac Boucher drive where it kind of, you just saw the ball flight against the trees and it just went to the left and landed perfect. And every caddy that was with us was like, that was the shot. Like that's why Bethpage is fun. Within the first two holes, you have two totally different shaping shots. One's going to the right. The next one's going to the left. You really are starting to figure out how to play the game of golf. Your second shot on two is like a 140 yard shot. You got to play at 170. Because it's all the way up the hill. You're hitting it at the fucking maintenance shed. And you're like, I don't know where this thing's ending up. But if you listen to the caddy, he said, listen, you can go the world left. Just don't go right. Of course, you go right. It's crazy. It's third hole's great. And then the fourth hole's the best hole in golf, I think. The best public hole in golf might be the fourth hole.
The fourth hole is the best non-ocean hole, I think, in the world.
Double tiered par 5. If you grip it and rip it, you can get there in 2. It's risk reward. The bunkers are insane in front, but they added this ridiculously nice chipping area to the right. Everything on the back of the green is all like sloped down, almost like a Pinehurst number 2 turtleback green that goes all the way down to this nasty.
Dude, when you stand on that third green too, and you look out, you can like see the fourth hole for the first time. You're like, what is that?
Dude, my dad hadn't played Bethpage Black. My dad had heart surgery 5 months ago, was out walking the Bethpage Black with me, which is fucking awesome. 5 months later, the guy is just like powering through this thing. Looks great, feeling great. First time playing the Bethpage Black. I got married there. We've lived there our whole entire lives. He never played the Blacks since like really playing a lot of golf. Like he said, he played in like the 70s. He thinks he was so excited to come see it. And when we got to the third green and we looked out, I'm like, look at that fourth hole. He was like teary eyed. He's like, that is the most beautiful made golf hole I've ever seen. And it's all natural terrain. Like they just built that because that part of the grass goes up more. You know what I mean? Like that is what's so cool. They didn't bring in dirt. They didn't have to do anything crazy. It's just they saw that it went up and they just let it go up. They went with the hole, and it's that double tier. So dude, I ripped the drive and then I had a 5-wood again. I got to put the 3-wood in my bag. I don't know why I have a 3-wood and a 5. I go driver, 5-wood, 3 hybrid, 4-iron. but I'm hitting my 4-iron basically the same as my hybrid, and my 5-wood I can kind of take a little bit off and bridge that gap. And I don't have a 3-wood in my bag right now. I don't have like one that I can like
Really?
260 go after it. Like I'm really 240, 235 is like my max right now with this 5-wood. So it's like I got to get it back in my bag. There's no, and I'm hitting it so well. I could probably hit the 3-wood just as well. I got to get it back.
Have you tried the mini driver or no? Do they have any lefty ones?
So they sent me a mini driver and I've hit it, but it was like the promotional one. Cause like lefties, I always get like the one that's like it's got a gooey little shaft on it. I don't know what the hell it is. They're always like, we don't really have the lefty one for it. We'll send it to you another time. So I've never actually hit like the true mini driver that like I think would be best for me. So I've always just kind of kept it in like my secondary bag. And I just look at it because it's got a cool
driver,
head.
dude. I love it. But I also how many wedges do you use?
So I go pitching wedge, which I think with the TaylorMade P770 is like a 40. Is it? I think it's like a 46.
Yeah, probably 46. That's what mine is.
And then I go 50 degree, which I always hit left. I don't know why. It just rides up the face left. And it's something that now I just like account that into my shot. No matter what I do, it just leaks a little left on me. So I'll aim right edge of green and it ends up like pretty close. But it's something that if I forget it, I always push it left and I get mad. 50 degree goes about 115, 120 comfortably. So that, and then my pitching wedge goes like 130, 135. Like, but I could also hit my pitching wedge like 125 if I hit it with like a little cut. Then I go 54 degrees, my favorite club in the bag.
Yeah, that club is awesome. So I took out a wedge recently just so that I could, because I got that 54. Because I was going 52, 56, 60, and a pitching wedge. So I had 4 wedges. And I recently, because I wanted more options like off the tee or from farther away, just like because comfortability of my big weakness can obviously be not getting the ball in play sometimes. So it's like, I just want more options out here. And I got that 54, which I'm with you is my favorite club in the bag. It's what I was getting up and down with out of those bunkers. That whole hater match is like, I just can hit that club from anywhere. And so now I got 3 wedges. I just go pitching wedge 54, 60. And I have a 4-iron, 3-iron, 5-wood mini driver. That's kind of where I've got the longer part of the game. And it just gives you a lot of options. But the mini driver is a fucking dude. If you can learn how to hit that thing a little bit, get comfortable with it. It comes out like penetrating because it's obviously like a really strong 3-wood basically. And off the tee, it's such a fun club to hit when you're hitting it well. It's fucking awesome.
So yeah, I might go. I mean, that would be interesting because I'm trying to rack my brain around how often I hit a 50 degree that I can't just hit like a knockdown pitching wedge, where it's like, is there really? Am I really 119 yards away that often that I can't just take a little bit off the pitching wedge and just end up like worst case scenario I'm on the back of the green, but it's not going to kill me. You know, I'm never going to end up short for sure. Because the 54 goes like, I use the 54 from 30 to 105.
Right.
And then I use the 60 degree. I use the 60 degree 25 or 30 and in.
That's what my whole theory was similar, where I was like that 52. I don't feel like I like have this game where I get up and down when I have a 52 degree in my hand all the time or ever. So it's like, why not? If I could hit it on average just as close with 154 degree as I can with either a 56 or a 52, let's see if I can just wrap those 2 bad boys into one and play a pretty similar game. And I feel like there hasn't been much of a difference. If anything, I like use it more around the greens than I used my 56 because the ball just runs a little bit. And then as long as I didn't feel like I was like finding a lot of yardages where I was like, fuck, I wish I had my 56 or I wish I had my 52, which I don't feel like I noticed that much. It just gives you a lot more kind of freedom having that one extra club where you can throw in something.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's and as you play more and as you get a little more consistent, it's fun to see. Like my numbers are pretty damn consistent now. And I know that Trotty was really up my ass about like getting out of the P790s and going into the P770s. I loved the 790s because they had a lot of juice. I was able to hit a 7-iron like 182 yards. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And I could really just like make contact with the sweet spot and it would fly. But now that I'm getting used to the 770s, it is way more consistent. I know that I can hit a 9-iron like 130 yards or 140 yards depending on how I make contact with it. But I know it's all the time. It's consistent. Like it's the same number. It's the same grouping or the same range all the time. I still have the 790s and the 456, which I do love because like you can kind of just like get some crazy pop on them. Because like Morikawa does that with the 770s. Colin Morikawa will use like a P770 with like a 4-iron because he knows it's a little more forgiving, and it's great to have that. It's great to have that in your bag, knowing like, oh, I just got to really just pop this thing. Even for the little punch shots, Trent's been watching my punch shots out of the trees.
Sick.
I've getting that 4-iron off the back of my foot, man. It's out of control. It goes forever. I'm gonna start doing it in the middle of the fairway on a par 5. I'm gonna start doing it.
That's what we talked about last show or 2 shows ago. I think that's really motivated you, where it's like we're putting something on the back foot here and we're ripping it. Yeah, you're doing that the other day. You were under a tree way out there, back footed a 4-iron and put it all. You ran it all the way up onto the green. It was unbelievable.
That's unreal. I do love the like my 3-iron is one of the 790s, and it's got some pop to it. It's really got some pop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I might even fuck around with like a driving iron too, because I've been hitting my long irons pretty well. But
TD Tutty taking it to the house, in for 6, whatever you call a touchdown. One thing is for sure: touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, from the special teams or defense, we do not care how they score. We want to bet on touchdowns. At DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering. If you're ready to place your first bet, try betting on something very simple, like picking a player to score a touchdown or how many touchdowns will be scored in a game. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. If you're ready to do a touchdown dance of your own, new DraftKings customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's $5. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. It really is betting on touchdowns now this time of year. As fun as it gets.
Going through Sunday morning, trying to pick a parlay for anytime touchdowns, going through, seeing some guys that you might think might get a couple snaps and have a couple looks in the red zone that have really good value, as opposed to going after the guys that are minus money. There is no better feeling than Sunday morning. Sunday morning. And then you're laying in bed and you're just scrolling the DraftKings app looking for good value, and you're just picking guys, and then you sit down on the couch, you get everything going, you get red zone on, you get the whole entire deal, and you're like, just show me that guy in the red zone right now. I need some action on a touchdown. Every score, I'm sprinkling stuff across the whole entire league. Every score, I'm paying attention to it. There's no better time. You got to get involved in touchdowns. There's a touchdown every second. Get involved.
Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code FORE, that's FORE, for new customers. You get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
I gotta rearrange my bag. I'm excited. Speaking of bags, I've got my buddies all coming over my house today and tomorrow, dropping off their bags. We're all ship sticking our clubs to the Ozarks. It's Ozark week. We leave Sunday. We're excited. Big Cedar. Now, the only thing, knock on wood, is weather. We've done everything we can. The preparation is done. I've got all the gifts, and I'm going to promote all this stuff. I've got great stuff for all my buddies for the Ozarks. We have great partners, great sponsors, stuff that was able to get sent to us. It's going to be super fun. Ship sticks is something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. We travel the world with our golf clubs, and it is insane the amount of times we do it. We're not going to complain about it because it's fun. We get to like go to work and go play ridiculously nice golf courses. But if anyone has traveled with their golf clubs, they know it can be a nuisance. It can be a drag. It can be a burden sometimes. They get lost. It's the oversized area. You don't know where they went. They didn't put them on the plane. Showing up to a golf resort for a buddy's trip without your golf clubs might be the worst feeling in the world. It happened to me at Bandon.
Yep.
I showed up. We were about to play Bandon Dunes for the first time, and my clubs were not there. They didn't make the connection. They're like, you never should have done this. You should have sent them straight to the golf course, which is, I'm never making that mistake again. I went on Ship Sticks and I said, how do we get 16 golf clubs from my house to Big Cedar Lodge with no problems at all? And they're like, this is how you do it. You print out all these tags, you put them on the golf travel bag, and FedEx is coming to my house, picking up the clubs, putting them in the back of their truck, and then they will just arrive when we get there. So we don't have to take a check. We don't have to check in a bag. We get to go on the
Oh.
plane and walk off the plane, and we
So
get
awesome.
right on Sunday. We're going
What a
right to
dream.
Springfield. We're going right to the Springfield Brewing Company, and we are just going to watch football. Our clubs are going to be at Big Cedar. They already know where they're going, what kind of cabins they're going into, what houses they're going into. It is incredible. That's a luxury. All right. Like that. The fact that this is a public service that anyone can use, that's a luxury. So I'm excited about that.
Big Cedar is so good. God, you guys are gonna have a great time at that place.
They just posted a picture, like the trees are starting to turn like this week. Like it might be peak Big Cedar time. We looked today, it was like 74 and sunny at Big Cedar.
Ooh, baby.
When I booked this a year ago, I'm like, ooh, October in Missouri, it might be a little cold. And the guy on the phone was like, I think it might be, like, knock on wood again, like the best time to go. So
I think it probably is. Oh, that's nice. I'm in North Carolina. I'm in Pinehurst for the next 2 weeks, and I was a little distracted the last couple minutes because Caleb's working. Obviously, the hurricane came through in Western North Carolina. We got lucky here. Pinehurst area is a little just east enough that it didn't really get hit much, but it's been horrible. There's all kinds of devastation. Towns like wiped out, and it's been hard for people to even kind of like figure out or notice how bad it is because service has been knocked out, and they're just starting to kind of uncover a lot of the disaster in kind of the eastern part of the state. So Caleb, who's from that area, he came up with Mountain Strong t-shirts. So I've been putting that all over my social. I'm sure we'll all share that. Luckily, we got a great platform. All the people that listen out there, I believe 100% of the proceeds from that t-shirt are going to go to hurricane relief and a food bank that Caleb's been kind of working with to get obviously help relief, help feed people that are going to be struggling. They're not going to have power. They're not going to have places to live. They're not going to have food, water over the next several weeks. So you see that all over our socials. Thoughts and prayers, of course, are with everybody that's been affected by the hurricane. I love North Carolina. I've always been coming to North Carolina for like 4 years straight. I'm going to be here for the next couple weeks, and just hard not to feel for everybody. It's been, I mean, some of the footage. I don't know if you guys have seen some of this, but
Oh yeah.
Some of the
It's
before and
bad.
after footage of places is just very, very difficult to even look at.
It's crazy what can happen. Just a natural disaster like that can rip up all the infrastructure, we talk really early in this show about the memories and one life to live and all of this stuff. You could be doing all the right things. You could be building your business up from the ground up and everything's perfect and you got everything the way you want it. Maybe it's a little restaurant that you like have worked so hard on making exactly the way you want it to. And then all of a sudden just like winds and rain and just the earth just like wipes it away. Just like years and years and years of love and care and hard work can be gone in an instant like that. So thoughts and prayers to everyone. I mean, I saw what the destruction of Hurricane Sandy did in Long Island. That was something that like I couldn't comprehend happening to my hometown, watching people legitimately losing their lives, their houses, never being able to go back to their house again for years because they had to rebuild. And it's just like, holy shit, man. Like it's really, really hard to wrap your head around. It's not fair, but luckily we have great people in the world, so like what Caleb's doing right now, what you guys are going to end up doing, and everyone's helping. All the country music stars I saw are getting together and they're doing something to raise money. So it's great that people help because there's really there's nothing else to do. You can't stop something like this. It's just the way the world is. It's fucking horrible.
Buy a shirt if you can. Please buy a shirt. 100% of the proceeds, it's a cool shirt, are going to the relief, to the food bank. And man, yeah, it's been very, very hard to watch all that. So, all right. Anybody got anything else? Oh, big shout out to just Montreal. I know we talked about President's Cup and all that, but what a fun city. I had heard quite a bit about Montreal, and just a good time. Canadian people are so goddamn nice. And I know even the French Canadians, maybe people think they're a little bit edgier. Maybe they got a little bit more of that French to them, and they're just incredibly nice. We got a ton of fans up there. The fans inside the ropes of the tournament were cracking me up, man. Just it was all the hockey lingo, and it was all the like Frankie talks about it a lot when you film the videos with the Islanders and them coming out and playing in the Barstool Classic a couple years in a row, and how fucking funny they are with their chirps, their terminology, their quips on everything that happens out on the golf course. And just hearing that from all the Canadian fans for a couple of days. Day one, they were a little subdued. I think they were a little bit enamored to see the American players just as much as they were to see the international players. Like, I think it was almost, I was equating it to a lot of people of like Thursday felt like when, a Premier League soccer team comes to play like an MLS team and the fans are probably have more jerseys of like the Premier League guys or if Barcelona comes or whoever.
Right.
And that was like day one where it was subdued. US won 5-0. They were all kind of like amazed to see Scotty Scheffler and Morikawa and Xander and all these players. And then by day two, they were like, fuck this. We're coming back and we're here to root for our guys. So it was chippy out there. They were they were just great. And the Canadians are nice. There was like one group that I walked by where they were chirping the other fans. And then they were chirping the players, the US guys. And then one of the guys was like, oh, Riggsy. And then got quiet for a second. And then his buddy just goes, you fucking suck, Riggsy. And everybody started laughing. And then I kind of looked back and he was like, no, just kidding. We'll do a picture. And like, so everybody's laughing. And it was great being up there with the Canadians. They were fucking into it and they get a good laugh out of me. And they were boozing nonstop. It was just, it was great. We went out with Brandel one night, went out with a bunch of people from the PGA Tour merchandise team. Shout out to our team, Pilar and Quinn. We're up there just slinging merchandise. We sold out of a bunch of items. And we had a hell of a display up there. I saw walking around the golf course, tons of our hats. Hats were kind of the big thing that was going early on. We had tailor-made golf balls that were custom that had our Barstool Golf logo, the President's Cup logo, and tailor-made. And then the CMC guys had come up with incredible head covers and towels that they were slinging, saying the accessories were selling like hotcakes as well. So it was cool to see all of our stuff all over the place. And the brand was very strong up in Canada, and the people were incredibly nice. So Montreal gets an A+ for me. It's a very cool city.
I have to poop so bad. It's crazy. It's like it's just at the tip. Alex, can you go to Wonton Don's Twitter? Did you guys see this clip of Wonton Don in Mexico talking to a guy about a remedy for your stomach issues?
No.
Did you guys see this? Alex, please pull this up. It went viral on TikTok. It went all over the place. So much so that I almost did it this morning, and I want to play it on our channels to see me, because whenever we play something on ours, we get people that want to reach out to us specifically. I want doctors that are listening to this that have made it an hour and 10 minutes into the show. I want them to reach out to me and tell me if they think that there's some truth to this.
If you want to clean your body, mezcal, when you wake up in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything, you take a nice shot. That will do what kills all the germs inside your stomach.
A shot of what?
Mezcal in the morning. Before you wake up, before you brush your teeth, before you drink any water, you take a nice shot of mezcal. That will kill all the germs in your stomach. If you do that for 1 week, no more than 1 week, all your stomach problem will be gone.
I'm going to try that.
I had an ulcer, bro, for years, taking pills and shit, never helped. I came in and I did the mezcal. I haven't taken a medicine. It's been 6 years. I haven't bled. My stomach hasn't bled. I go to the doctor in the U.S. to do my AA, like, you're lying. Somebody must have done something to us. I'm like, no, man, it's just mezcal. So much that he started taking mezcal. I sent him from here 5 liters every 3 months.
Okay, so for 1 week, a shot right when you wake up?
Wake up, right before you brush your teeth or anything, you take it. This is an ant.
I've heard it. These are a great source of protein.
And you clean your stomach.
They clean your stomach. Didn't hear that. That's
if you have ulcers and stuff, they're really...
So this guy's claiming that mezcal tequila, you take a little shot, just a couple ounces of mezcal right when you wake up, which is a ridiculous way to wake up. Okay, your body has been in slumber. You've been out cold. You wake up. You take a shot. I don't know what that's going to do to your brain. I would assume it's bad for your stomach and your liver and everything to just hit your system with alcohol like that. If you do your own research, apparently mezcal is like, has all this agave in it, like pure agave plant or whatever it might be. And that's like really good probiotic, prebiotic, all this stuff for your digestive system. It's supposed to like really clean you out. So I don't know. It's interesting. If you do like a 1 week mezcal cleanse, what does that do for you? Is that bad? Is that good? I need to hear it.
You just got to,
but if it's a little shot, it's the same as taking like any sort of medicine almost, right? I mean, of course it has some alcohol in it, but it's not going to get you drunk.
I might try it. If you got some, stomach, dude, the stomach issue is no bueno. That's a bad
Dude,
way.
I'm going to try it, I think.
Do it.
I thought about it this morning, but I wanted to come on the show and kind of, get some, I don't know. I'm going to wait until tomorrow until we get some tweets and some messages because I want to really figure this out. There's got to be some sort of gastro doctor out there that knows more about the digestive system than that guy. Because then also Donnie in the next tweet goes, this guy was great, but he also robbed me minutes later. So just take that for what it's worth. I guess he was supposed to be Donnie's. He was supposed to be the Wonton Don's translator, and just took his money and then never saw him again.
Okay.
So he did, yeah. But he said he was great. He said he was a nice guy.
Mezcal.
Yep.
All right. All right. Anybody have anything else?
Shout out to Noah Kahan.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Shout out
Oh my
to
god.
Noah Kahan. Frankie and I pretty much spent the whole weekend with Noah Kahan.
He's the nicest guy on the planet. There's really no other way to say it. The guy has had a meteoric rise to the top. He played like 240 shows this year. He posted something today that he hasn't been in one place for more than 10 days for a full year.
Been 2 years.
For 2 years. Sorry, for 2 years. For 2 years hasn't been in a place for more than 10 days consistently. He is just taking this rise, and he's taking advantage of it, and he's playing the biggest shows possible. And we got to go see him at the Soundside Festival in Bridgeport, and we played golf with him at Century Country Club with his buddy Vikram and Bo and Noah, and it was so much fun. Trent, and it was like we played a great game of like it was a point system. It was called like 6 point Scotch 6 or something, where you get a point for hitting a green regulation or close to the pin. You get a point for being the low individual. You get a point for being the low team, and you can press and you can make the next one worth double the amount of points. So it ended up getting towards the end where Trent and I were down by like 24, 30 points. And we started to kind of like rattle off some wins, and then they were doing a double press. So some holes were worth like 30 points, and Trent hit a green in regulation when no one else did. He hit it it was 1 ball's worth onto the green, and that's how we won the match. Trent also made 9 pars, I think.
Let's go, Trent.
Playing this round of golf. So
I'm playing good, yeah.
He really shocked everyone out there, and Noah was like just the nicest guy ever. Hooked us up. We got artist wristbands. We were on the stage with the Goo Goo Dolls until we weren't anymore because we were told
it's a closed stage.
Yeah, we were backstage for like Boys to Men and the Goo Goo Dolls, and Noah was about to go up. And you're looking out at this fucking festival, and there's like, I don't even know how many people were there. 1 billion. Like, it's just like, it just goes on
By the
forever.
way, that lead singer for the Goo Goo Dolls, that guy is ageless.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh my god, dude. I saw him at the Wyndham Championship a couple years ago, and I remember tweeting out just being like, this guy looks and sounds like he's 30 still, and he's just not.
It was nuts how good he sounded. They sounded like the recording album. I mean, they had the place absolutely going nuts, but we were enjoying them. We're waiting for Iris. We're waiting for the whole thing. And someone came up to us and was like, "What are you guys doing back here?" And we said, "We're here we're here to watch the show. We've got these little artist things. I think I can go up there and play the drums." I mean, this says I'm an artist. It's like, I don't know what do you want from me? And the guy's like, "Well, like, who you guys with?" We're saying with Noah. He goes, "Well, it's all great that you were Noah, but this is Goo Goo time." Is what he said to us. This is the Goo Goo time.
Yeah.
And he goes, Goo Goo time is a closed stage.
Closed stage.
Closed stage for the Goo Goos. So I said, oh, okay. So we got off the stage. We waited, and then we ended up we didn't see Noah when he went up there. We ended up going to the front. Dude, there's like a little pit right in front of the stage where all of the media goes, where like they take photos, and they're allowed to be up there for like the first 3 songs, I guess, contractually. You can get the first 3 songs and you got to get out of there. And then all of a sudden they cleared them out, and it's just us and like Noah's brother and like Noah's friends that he grew up with, that he was in all of his friends that he shared an apartment with when he wasn't anyone. Like, he was just in New York City writing music on a couch that had no legs, and they were just like sitting real low to the ground with a guitar, and Noah's like, I think this song's pretty good. It ends up being like fucking Stick Season, and you're like, how the fuck does someone become that talented where like they just know and they trust themselves, and they start out playing venues for 100 people? 2 years ago, Noah Kahan wasn't allowed in the Soundside Festival because he didn't have the right credential. They wouldn't let him in. And then
Zach Bryan was on stage wearing his shirt.
And then this year he headlined it. Huge sign above it that said Noah Kahan. Just fucking awesome.
He's just the nicest guy in the world.
So
we had
sick.
such a good day playing golf that I Ubered up in the morning to go because it's not that far from the city. It's like 45, 50 minutes from the city. And then once we got done, they had driven up from wherever they were staying, somewhere in Brooklyn. And he was like, just hop in the car with us and we'll all ride back to the city together. So after the amazing round of golf, I just sat in the car with Noah, his buddy Vikram, and his buddy Bo, and we just shot the shit for like an hour and a half. And it was totally normal. Like, I love the guy. He's been nothing but great to us, and it's stunning. But he really is just a super normal dude.
After the show, we go into this little artist village, and he's like, he FaceTimes me, and we were like, because we're in the car, and he got me like a parking pass that we parked behind the stage. It was like nuts. A bomb dog had to come search the car. That's how close we were getting. And he FaceTimes me. He's like, "You guys didn't leave yet, right?" We're like, "No, we're in the car. We're about to." He's like, "Come on back." And he walks out like in a spot that he probably shouldn't even walk out on because he just headlined this festival. And he's like looking around for us, and we're like, "We're here." And he like brings us into his little cabin area. And we're just like talking with him and his fiance for an hour, just like shooting the shit, having a beer, talking about how his tour's over after 2 years. And he's like, "I got to go back to just like living a normal life right now." Like, it's like almost like a little scary of just like, what do I do now? I just toured the world for 2 years, toured the whole world. And every place he showed up to, 100,000 people were out there waiting for him. So, and I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to have just another one of those tours, because whatever his next album's going to be is going to be better than the last one, because that's what's been happening with the trajectory of his career. But can't say enough nicer things about Noah. It's really, really, I think, unique and hard to find someone of that success to be that down to earth. He suffers, I think, from like imposter syndrome, where he's like, "I shouldn't be up here, and I'm just one of you guys. Like, you guys are the cool ones. I'm just like allowed to go play music." And you're like, "Fucking, I just watched what you did out there. You're the best in the world at what you do. That's fucking insane."
I'm very jealous of that. I'm very jealous of that.
I will say we weren't able to film the match that we played, but we are going to get something on the books. He's like, "Come see me," because he's done kind of with his tour now that he's been on for 2 years. And he was like, "Dude, I'm going to be chilling for a while now. So whenever you guys want to come visit me, we'll do it. We'll film it." It's an all-time vibes group. Like, we had such a good time. People, once we do end up filming something, and I know he really wants to, people are going to love it.
We're going to do the country music star, or like the 2.0 version of that Jake Owen match. I think we got to do. We just got to do a whole new crew, right? Like Noah, whoever else he wants to bring, and we'll do that, because that was awesome. When we played Morgan Wallen, you can go back and look at that. That's an insane
crazy
group we played.
Wallen, not that he was a nobody, but he certainly wasn't as big as he is now.
And Hardy was still like writing music. Like, he wasn't. I don't even think he came out with like his original album yet, like his solo one. So you had Hardy, fucking Darius Rucker, Jake Owen, and Morgan Wallen was that foursome. Go back and watch that video on our YouTube page. That's a crazy video. So yeah, if we can do another version of that down in Nashville, that would be great. So
Chase Rice like showed up in that video and just like replaced. Like, that was
Darius Rucker had to go to a Madden party like on the 15th hole. He just left.
Noah's the coolest fucking guy in the world. I can't say enough good things about that guy.
Have you found the perfect golf shoe yet? G4 can definitely help with the search. Their new drop has a style for everybody. Whether you're seeking traditional, contemporary, or something somewhere in the middle, G4's latest selection of premium footwear has got you covered. That's just true, man. They've got all kinds of good stuff. We've talked about the Gallivanters forever, which you call your tournament shoe, your big round shoe, whatever you put. Nice pair of pants. You're going to walk. You're going to have a caddy. You're going to play a top 100 course, a private club that you never thought you'd get to in your city. Or you want to get a little bit more stylish, go with pure comfort. They've got the MG4 Pluses. They got all kinds of great stuff at G4. I know Trent likes the MG4 X2 cross trainers. They got a bunch of styles, gentlemen.
Yeah, just the most comfortable shoes in the game. Regardless of what style you want to go for, the most comfortable. They have that bubble insert, the iconic G4 insert on the sole. It feels amazing on your feet. So much so that my dad wears them to the work, even though he slips around in the kitchen at Borelli's. He loves the way it feels on his feet. He wears golf shoes to an Italian restaurant. It's an amazing shoe. I wear the Gallivant Tours now, where it's that combination where it looks like the Gallivanter, but it's way more soft and it's way more comfortable. And I love it. I get crazy amounts of feedback and people asking me where to get those shoes, because they're just a clean looking shoe, man. You put them on, especially now with the fall, a nice pant that goes right there, tapered to the ankle, and a nice white shoe like that. Yeah, dang, feeling good, looking good.
Visit G4 to find out which shoe is you. Answer a few questions. Their footwear finder, that's right, they got a little footwear finder, does the work for you. Don't forget G4.com/4. That is GFORE.com/4 for 10% off your first order at G4. Your feet will thank you. That's G4.com/4 for 10% off your first order.
I gotta So on the last episode for Close to the Pin, one of my things was I'm going to flip a quarter 10 times on today's show, and that's going to be one of the closest to the pins. I don't know if Riggs, you and I can talk about it. I don't know if we want to allow Frankie to guess on this one. He wasn't on that episode, so he couldn't do it, but this one hasn't been done yet if we want to allow Frankie to make a guess.
I allow it. I think we allow it.
All right, Frankie. How many times I'm going to flip this quarter? Look, it's an American quarter, George Washington. I'm going to flip it 10 times. How many times do you think it's going to land on heads?
3.
All right, that's his number. So I'm now going to flip this coin 10 times.
What'd
I don't
you
know if
guys
you guys
say?
want to talk amongst yourselves.
I want to
but
say I said 4.
Riggs said 6.
first flip,
Damn it.
heads.
Damn it! Oh, yeah.
Second flip, tails.
Come on now.
Damn it.
This is it's a Vermont coin. Fitting that we're talking about Noah Kahan.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks. Go.
Third flip, I mean, heads.
Come on.
Okay.
Fuck. I need to go on a tails run.
Okay. Let's get hot heads. Come on, another one.
Fourth flip, tails.
Come on. 50-50. You're finding that.
I mean, of
flipping a
course
coin
it
is-
is.
This could be tails.
Tails.
Yep.
Oh.
What number am I on right now? I already lost count. I
That
think that was
was
5.
That was
That was the
5.
fifth.
We've got 2 heads, 3 tails.
Alex, was you taking this down?
I need a bunch of heads. I need a bunch
Yeah,
of heads.
I got it.
You got to go on a tails run right now. Dun, 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 dun.
Sixth flip, tails.
Come on. Come on. Come on. One more tails and we're looking good.
Seventh flip, tails.
This quarter is bullshit.
Woo!
A piece of shit.
Give me another tails, bitch. Show me
Eighth
one
flip.
more tails.
Heads.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, wait.
All right, where are we at
we're
right now?
We're at 3 heads and we're at 5 tails.
3 out of 7 heads.
Okay.
So far.
3 and 4.
Wait,
Yeah, 3 and 4.
I did 7 or I did 8?
This is about to be. Yeah, you've done 8.
I've done 8.
So you've done 3 heads and 5. 3 heads,
I don't know.
5
Has
tails.
he done 8
You're
or has he done 7?
Yeah, you're about to flip. You said 8th flip heads.
This is
So
9.
now you're about to be doing the 9th flip. And this has to be tails.
9th flip, tails.
Yeah!
10th
All right.
flip.
So if this is tails, I hit it on the fucking nose, baby. Give me a tails, bitch.
10th flip, tails.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Guy came in. He got a last second guess and he got it right. He gets 2 points on that
2
close
points,
to the pin.
bitch.
I also had 3.
Oh, fuck you, Alex.
It's okay.
All right, so
Please
Frankie,
lower my mic as I scream. By the way, I don't want people like crashing their cars.
Frankie and Alex both get 2 points, and that we'll obviously do the close to the pin on Thursday's show. But all right, there you go. The first edition of
That was electric.
yeah, we might think about that going forward. We
That's
can
well
make
played,
our
Trent.
own. You know, it's up to us. It's up to us.
That was well done, man. God damn it. What a guess. 7.
Yeah, 3 out of
Dude,
3
I
out
said
of 10 is.
We had to go on a run. We had to go on a serious tails run because, dude, you flipped heads twice in the first 4
First
flips.
3. It was 2 to
I
1
believe
head.
so. Yeah, that's all I got. That's it for me.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna shoot a basket here?
I think I've only hit it once. So we're going to shoot this skills. You can go get our skills equipment. Actually, I've been using our skills stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods, Golf Galaxy. Make sure you go check it out. Apparently, it's been flying off the shelves. You have to go get this stuff. The warm-up swing stick
Oh,
with
yeah.
the
Great.
weight at the end of it. I am such a big range guy that I freak out that if I don't hit the range before a round. But now I have this in the back of my car in the trunk. And I'm like one of those guys that like warms up in the parking lot now. And I'm out of breath, by the way, from that heads and tails thing. And it's been helping me so much. I stepped to the first tee. I did this at the Black because the Bethpage has a horrible driving range system. I don't know how you have the best golf course in the world and you have that kind of driving range. It's nuts.
It's kind of
But-
beautiful.
I ended up swinging in the parking lot, and I felt warmed up. I'm telling you, man, it gets your tempo down. It's
Oh.
great. Go check it out.
I just put that thing in my bag and it goes everywhere I go. And then I see it every time I'm about to play, and I'm like, wow, I'm just gonna
And you
warm
can
up.
get a
with
little
it.
mini hoop.
Shout out
like
to
me.
Skills. Here you go, Frank. He missed it.
Fuck.
Damn.
He
I
missed
don't know if Alex is
Man.
keeping track of those shots, but it's not good. My shooting percentage is low.
it. It's one of however many he's doing.
Logan.
1 for 9.
God.
Okay.
Shout out to and rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo. Gone
Yeah,
way
tough
too
to
soon.
see that come across my desk this morning.
58?
Young.
Brain cancer.
Way
My
too
God.
young.
Jesus.
Iconic.
Legend.
Absolutely iconic legend. Crazy. Just, yeah. I was eating breakfast looking at that, like sick to my stomach. Just fuck, man.
You know what, dude? I actually, and obviously rest in peace. And I was thinking about that today too. Like, you get hit with news that you don't want to see all the time. And that can't be healthy. Like, I can't be waking up. I'm with you. I was grabbing a coffee and I looked at my phone and it was like Dikembe Mutombo dead at 58 from brain cancer. I just can't be hit with that stuff all day. It really brings you down.
Brain stuff. Not good.
Yeah.
My grandmother just passed away from dementia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, yep.
Sorry.
No, it's
Jeez.
okay. It's a long battle. It ends up getting to the point where you're like relieved almost. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're not
I had a
themselves
grandma
for
who had Alzheimer's
years.
as well.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, holy smokes, man! Like,
Yeah.
it's almost you have like two parts of grieving where it's like in the beginning, right when she's like starting to like deteriorate, you're like, that's as sad as you're gonna be because you're like you're seeing her, she's at events, and you're like, she doesn't even know
Right.
who I am. That's like that to me was like, all right, we
Devastating.
lost her.
Yep.
'Cause it's like and the other part is like so physically healthy, 87 years old, could have lived until she was 100. You know what I mean? That's the sad part.
Yeah.
The brain just deteriorates and you're like, she could have ran a marathon. Like she was dancing, doing everything, but she had no idea.
Right.
So yeah, really sad. Feel for my dad, obviously his parents now. It's tough.
Yep.
So tough. Life sucks. Life is brutal.
It is brutal. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's just
Can be very, very brutal.
yeah, we always end the show on like a weird dark turn. We get like very personal on it, but
Yeah.
foreplay.
It is part of the show.
Foreplay.
Part of the show. Missed my golf shot. Maybe missed my basketball shot and then turned into that.
But you nailed the quarter thing, so that's
You
big.
did nail
I did
it.
nail the quarter thing. Yeah.
All right.
We'll be back on Thursday.
All right, boys.
Hit hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit hard.